whatever it is we're going. It's good that he's thinking, but I think it's naive to assume that one season in our lives can't drastically change the way that we see it. Like,
what's up? This is No Big Deal representing Middle Tennessee and Indie Tribe. You are now in the field with the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, Flavor Fest 2018, man. Make sure you are in the building. Trackstarz is going to be there. I know City Takers will be out there, right?
Yeah. I'm actually performing on Saturday night.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, man, the submission process was early this year. Like, I think you had to do it like almost
normal.
last year, right?
It was normal. It ends usually in January.
Oh, that's right. It does end in January. Okay. It's selected by July, right? Like announced in July. Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, shout out to City Takers, man. We appreciate you guys always sharing with us, man, and you letting us share.
This is double ATL, by the way. I want to announce myself.
Exactly.
Start asking me questions.
Man,
Jerry sound different.
They know you. They know you.
Nah,
you have that distinct voice. I think anybody in the industry knows your voice.
The most interesting
but
man in the world.
Especially when you're on a track. When you're on a track, it's hands down. That's double. Hands down. Yeah.
I'll take that.
No, real talk. I was at my school. And you were performing at my school, and I was walking to my car, and from a distance, I was thank you. And from a distance, I was like, that sounds like double. So I start walking towards that. I'm not lying. I start walking towards that direction, just like that can't be double. I'm at my school. Yeah, at my school. So I kept walking. Stop it. So I kept walking, and I'm like, double. Boom.
Yeah. I need to.
You saw it.
Yo, Double is touring everywhere around the city. You can find Double anywhere. But main place is what? Marietta Diner? How many shows you do there, man?
Nah, man. Once a month, man. Once a month. The fourth Friday, you catch us at the diner, pack it out.
That's a spot, man. Y'all should own that joint.
Yeah, man.
You should be getting paid for a commission right now.
Well, we don't ever wait that long. That's the blessing.
Oh, they know y'all are coming.
Hey, they push through. Y'all got to go. Y'all paid the bill. All right, y'all got to go. We got some people coming in. I mean, we walked in there with one time. We walked in there with 80 people.
Wow.
We brought 80 people to the diner with us.
Wow.
And we probably waited 20 minutes.
Wow.
We got like a whole VIP
that
section.
Is cool,
at the,
what would Jesus do?
That
Kick the people out from their meals. That's cold blooded, bro. Like, hey, y'all got to go.
This is to go. Everybody before y'all come get served in the to-go box.
Here go your trays. See you later.
The real blessing has just
you want us to do it for you, or you want to do it yourself?
We had an amazing night last night. I just want to shout out One Race Atlanta. Look that up, Google that. August 25th, we're taking a bunch of different churches from the city in Atlanta, culturally diverse churches, and doing a service at Stone Mountain on the mountain, August 25th. And really we going to see God about racial reconciliation. So we're going to Stone Mountain where the KKK was birthed and used to be. We're gonna go on the mountain, and we're gonna come together. I performed at City Takers last night, and before I even started rocking, I was like, man, it looked like a spice rack out here, because I'm looking. It's all different kind of races. It's like it's not just some bland, salt. It's just like you got paprika, you got black pepper, you got Sasson from my Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And it's dope, man. I think that's the kingdom, man. So August 25th, One Race, City Takers, Victory World Church, Father's House. It's a bunch of us involved.
So since y'all are here, we got Jared Sanders and Double ATL in the building. We do this thing called Noteworthy, where you guys could write in anonymous notes to us, so you don't have to put your business out there, but you could be real honest. This one is called Secular Music. So let's see what y'all got to say about this.
All right.
Convicted.
This guy says, guy or girl, I don't know. I have a question about secular music. Here's my problem. I'm an artist, someone who loves to make music and loves music in general. There are so many secular artists out there who make amazing music, and I get inspiration from them in my own music. The messages, of course, are different, but I study and take influence in the styles and the voices and sounds and stuff. My problem is most of the lyrics to the music of these artists talk about sex, drugs, violence, normal rap cliches, but as far as I know, it doesn't negatively affect me. And I enjoy it a ton, like it's very good, and I study it in order to make my own music sound just as good. but with a better message. I guess what I'm trying to say is, can I listen to these songs even though they have those messages? Because I take influence, study them to make my own music great, and because usually I think to myself, like, this is hard to read. Usually I think to myself, like, this is all these artists know. This is how they've been brought up. It's that hood lifestyle. I don't think that stuff is right, but I see why they talk about it. It's all they know. I see more than just the content of the lyrics. At the same time, I don't know if it's like, oh, it will influence you later type of thing. I haven't noticed any changes, and I've been listening to it for a while. Is it bad if you accidentally slip and say a curse word, or almost say it when you're rapping to a song because you don't know all the lyrics, or just on accident? Because that part is like really fat. This is like a diary. Fast and complex, and you mess up. Or you just flat out mess up and slip, but you usually do a good job of censoring yourself. It just slips once in a while on accident. Also, is it just me, or are there times where there are like curse words in your mind, like you stub your toe, or something scares you, or something makes you mad, and in your mind, like the first thought that comes is blank this blank this dude, man. But you don't say it because you know cursing is wrong. You keep your language clean. Or like if your friend does something dumb or is acting funny, and in your mind, the first thought that comes to it is, what is this blank doing? But you don't. This is.
Doesn't sound like a noteworthy. It sounds like tragedy. It's like talking out loud thing.
I think we get the gist, right? I think I get the gist because that's multi-part.
Yeah, I honestly don't think the music has anything to do with it. This guy needs to be careful stubbing his toe and bumping into people. Nah, I mean, I think we learned. I think we all learned that, because it seems to me he's going like, I don't struggle with it, but I deal with it. Like, that's what I kept hearing, the backtrack and back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, I think we all learned curse words before music.
That was a stream of consciousness.
Like, we didn't. You don't have to. You cannot ever listen to no music and still, have whatever kind of language. I just think that person needs to. Like, if he's working on music, I would suggest to that person, don't listen to other music. Yeah. No, nobody's music.
Yeah.
Just find your lane, because he's all over the place, man. Like, when you're that scattered, and that just means you're not focused.
Mm-hmm. And he said he listens so that he can get better or just as good as the music that's out there.
He's gonna sound like the music that he's listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. There was a lot of layers.
There's a lot. There
was a lot of layers to that. But
he or she likes to curse.
Yeah, the thing that got
in their mind.
Me, like, was that they were like, when it comes to art, like, everybody says art is subjective. I'm kind of a different lens. I think, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, right? Mm-hmm. So I think everything that's secular is not profane. Like, I think there are things that aren't necessarily trying to defame God. You know what I'm saying? I think I listen to love songs around the house.
Secular love songs?
I ain't listening to
you heathen. Secular love. Like, so I mean, I'm like, I think when we say, though, that we partake in, like, the most junky stuff, and then be like, oh, but I take out the good parts. You know, it kind of reminds me of, like, you eat all this fried food, right? And you be like, Lord bless this food so it don't clog my arteries.
For my body.
Like, it's like there comes
I pray a different prayer now when I eat my fried food. Lord, please don't let this screw up the diet that I've been trying to work on.
Right, and it's kind of like, I get it. You want to understand the research and study. But if you're also being influenced by it, it's not just research anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer just research. Like, if I go and I, like, watch somebody's rap style and I watch how they move and how they operate in their day-to-day, there's a part of me that's like, yo, when you start walking around and you start doing the things that they did, it's inevitable. Like, like my wife, we spent all of our time together. So there's times she'll start saying the things that I say, like all my little colloquialisms, all my little slang words. She starts to pick up on it. So when people think that, like, influence works like it's so overt, I think they miss the point. Like, it's like little by little, like, you start to
take on.
It's like,
take it on.
Can I do it? Can I do it? When you start asking, can I do it? You probably shouldn't. Like, when you start getting to that point, it's like, well, I don't do it all the time, no. Like you start weighing it.
Right.
So yeah, that's I would say, to answer the question, I would say really search your heart on what that looks like, because you might think you're not being influenced by it, but if you're partaking in it that much, it's inevitable to come out in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I think he or she just wants to hear like that. I think because I'm listening and it's just back and forth and backtracking and going and backpedaling.
Yeah.
And it's just like, look,
and
I think you need to take a season away from whatever it is you got going on. And go seek God. Like you scatterbrained, you all over the place, and something is influencing you. You ain't, that's why most artists, I don't know if you like this or y'all, when you working on music, I'm not listening to nobody else.
I don't listen to nobody.
Because I'm gonna start to sound like what I'm listening to.
And it's like, it's amazing. It's already in you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that you listen, you don't have to listen to it consistently for it to be in you.
Right.
Like if you listen to a certain type of music, a certain style, a certain artist, you may not remember it right then and there. It may not come up to the front of your mind, but it's there.
Yeah.
Like it's there. Like your pops, if you got a abusive pops, you may not necessarily do it right then and there, but it's there in the event that you decide to let that seep out. Yeah. You'll see it, and then you got to be honest with yourself and stop saying I'm not influenced by it. Like you are, because you took it in.
You think the influence of the music is definitely evident based on the way they responded to general situations.
I think if you have to weigh it like that, like, is it cursing? Like if you get to that season, it's like, well, you might want to press pause. Like just because it may not go anywhere. It may not go further than what it is. But if you have to really weigh it like that, there's already some duality in your mind. There's already something.
So part of what he was asking is, like, he's not saying these things, but it comes to his mind, and he has to censor it. Is that a result of it already starting to influence you?
Well, the Bible says, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. So I think there's obviously some toiling going on in his heart. Like if he's got to think about whether or not he should or shouldn't. But at the same time, I think that we have the ability to choose whether or not we're going to actually execute whatever it is we're going. It's good that he's thinking, but I think it's naive to assume that one season in our lives can't drastically change the way that we see it. Like anything can happen in your life. And the person that was strong spiritually as strong as they could lose their mom. They could lose their spouse, they could get sick. Then their entire perspective changes. Like we know God by many names, right? But Jehovah Jireh is one season that we in. When I was broke and unemployed, I knew God to be a provider in that season. That is how I recognized him. You know what I'm saying? When it's Jehovah Shalom, when I was, all kind of conflicted and I needed that peace, that's when I knew God that way. So things change, seasons change in which you learn and identify what's really going on. So right now you may be strong enough to be like, ain't nothing. But let's say your marriage gets a little difficult. Then what entertains you? Then what, gets your attention? So those things change. So I would say don't focus so much on the season that you're in right now. Think about it as a whole thing. Like, no, it might be easy for you right now.
But do you guys listen to secular music? Like, is that part of
your day,
your week, your month?
My day, no. My day, no. And I think now it's because I got kids. Like this, and if I have to have the wherewithal, like to not play it around my kids and not miss it, I don't have to listen to it. Now, there are times where like I'll get the edited version, and listen to it and be like, what they talking about? But I never run it back though. Like I never really run it back. It's like, okay, that's what they talking about. Yeah. Cool, and move on from there.
I still listen to some stuff, but I gotta be. I'm a heathen. I am. No,
Jesus ears.
Yeah, man, y'all gotta pray for me. Now I listen to what I'm a fan. I'm listening to what I'm a fan of. I like to stay afloat to what's going on, but honestly, I don't even really listen to music that much anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to more I'm beats. On some podcasts.
I be listening to beats.
I listen to some beats
all the time.
Listen to podcasts. I like information.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm always trying to gain information. And so if like an album, like Drake album came out, I'm gonna listen to it, right? Because it's the information that's needed to whatever conversation is going to revolve around that weekend that it drops, right? The group chat is always going to be lit off of whatever comes out, you know, because we are music people. So it's like, you know, but most of the time, man, I'm listening to some talk radio or some
ESPN,
some
sports.
podcast, just trying to gather information.
Yeah,
but you know, I feel like, nah, man, like I don't feel like it doesn't influence me, right? But I hear this person, and I think he's heavily influenced off of what he's getting in. So I think he should just protect his ears.
So we've been talking about music, but Prophet Josiah just said, "What about movies? Is there any difference?"
But I
feel like we treat movies and music
fair.
different.
Like, and the thing is, like, yo, let truth be truth. Like, let truth be truth, man. Like, in movies, we do it, you know. But there's also movies that, like, now, I'm like, I can't watch certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, that don't sit right. And sometimes those convictions have to be what they are, and you got to let them, because, you know, the Bible even gets to the point where it defines sin as like anything that you're convicted about that you do is sin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but what if
it
you
may
go to
not
the point
be.
where you're no longer convicted? Like maybe, okay, at first I may have felt something, but now it's just so normal to me.
Well, it depends on what's normal, right? Like, it depends on what that thing is, right? So, like, for example, like, if I'm around people that smoke all the time, right? At first, it's like, oh, that's weird. But then, like, you get used to the smell. Does that necessarily mean you need to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it like, it's like I used to be around my grandmother, you know, God rest her soul, man. Like, she used to smoke a lot when we were younger. And she would roll a window down. And we'd be like, oh, it smells like cigarettes. But then when you get away from that, and it's like, oh, this is what fresh air smells like.
Right. So sometimes you just got to pause it. Just pause your whole world and see. You know, because I've been thinking about, like, eating better and stuff like that. What a lot of people say is just cut out everything and then slowly add it back and see what's really causing the problem. Sometimes you just got to eliminate, period. I did this with music. I tell this story a lot on here, is that I just gave up music for a year, period. Christian, don't matter, everything. And then just to see, do I feel different? Do I feel the difference of influence in my life? And I did. I felt like, wow, like not hearing this stuff and keeping up with the news all the time, it does kind of seep into you. Even the news. I had to cut the news. Atlanta news is terrible, man. It's depressing.
I turn the TV off. Like, my wife like to watch the movies the news at night before we go to sleep. I walk up straight, be like, click, I'm cutting the TV off.
Like, it gets into you, man. Like,
cut the TV off.
For a while,
me to be peaceful.
It teaches you how to figure out how much you really can. You could say you can handle it, but getting away from it shows you at what point do you start acting different. Because
it's real life, because you're taking art in reality, right? So a lot of times when you see, you could go, I don't watch horror movies, I don't watch thriller movies. I used to love them. I'm cut them out all together, right? So
why those? Why those?
Nah, man, because you just feel it. If it's an hour after I watch the movie and I'm still like, man, like, I feel like that's dark.
I feel like I gotta turn the alarm on.
I gotta watch cartoons for the next 30 minutes to go to sleep. I'm Gucci on that. No, but
it's real. That's real.
Nah, but like,
that's real.
Like, you could watch the news and feel so affected by everything that's going on. The news, Fox 5 at night, or whoever, 11 Live, everything is like, at night is all the negative stuff that happened throughout the day. And you'll feel like, man, oh, come on, man, I can't. But then you'll go watch a movie and then they just killing people all day and it's nothing, because you know, because in your mind you go, but that's not real. And then when you watch the news, it's real. So it's like,
yo, don't tell wrestling fans that wrestling ain't real.
Oh no,
like, that's what influence does. It makes you think things are normal that aren't. You see somebody get slapped across the chest, and it's like, ooh, you see that? And it's like, he got pinned on the canvas. Like, you know, he's
look,
not.
My phone case. This is the event. This is the event. It's an Avengers phone case, because I'm a Marvel head. So it's like, I'm like, you can't wait to see this sci-fi stuff happen on screen. But if we walked out of here to leave, and you seen this monster float, like this big ship floating, and you see like Iron Man coming blasted away, yo, we'd be running for our life.
I don't care who coming.
You know what I'm saying? But when you go watch it in the movies, it's like, oh, we're just amazed by.
Yeah, until you see it in 3D though, and then you see the joint coming towards you. Wait. You got to close one eye. You know, just make sure.
So real quick, somebody asked me, how did I worship when I cut out all music? You don't need music to worship. You could worship by yourself. I remember songs. I didn't forget them.
You can make up your own songs. I don't know, like
I
brand new worship songs.
Maybe because we
sing a new song.
We different though. We different.
Sing a new song.
You may not feel creative enough to make up your own songs, but the song you make up for Jesus don't got to be good.
It don't got to be good.
It just got to be real.
Gotta sound good.
It's just you and him. Sing whatever you got.
But those aren't the songs you release on Spotify.
Don't put it out.
Nah, you know what?
That's your secret language. That's your prayer language.
And it might work.
SoundCloud.
In this, in this day and age, you might be able to get some spins. Like, yo, people doing it now. Like, hey, it is what it is.
Guy that you was competing with yesterday.
Yeah.
We won't go there.
Yeah, that guy. Whatever.
Yeah. So that's the recommendation. So let's get back into it. You in the field with the track stars: Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Lego.
Hey guys, Miracle here. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Make sure you go below, like it, subscribe, click the bell, and make sure you follow us on all forms of our social media. Also, check out our website and be sure you spread the word. We'll see you next time.
We know not what we doing. Screw that, they know, let them have it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time's up.
Team Freedom.
Yeah.
We not through yet.
All right.
Trackstarz Music presents.
Turn my volume up. Turn me off.